James Bond is no stranger to video games. From GoldenEye to Everything or Nothing, 007 has had some legendary digital outings, but let's be honest, many of those games focused on loud, shoot-'em-up spectacle, ignoring the stealth, the charm, and the social cunning that makes Bond so fun. That's exactly why IO Interactive, the studio behind the modern Hitman trilogy, taking on Bond is so exciting. Their speciality is open-ended, social stealth gameplay. They understand that a spy's greatest weapons aren't always guns. Sometimes it's a well-timed lie or a perfectly pressed suit. And after spending time with the opening hours of their new game, 007 First Light, I'm convinced IO is the right choice. My hands-on focused on 3 missions, an explosive opener in Iceland, a training sequence set in Malta, and a slick infiltration and escape at a ritzy gala in London's Kensington Borough. As a modern origin story, First Light focuses on Bond's early days as an MI6 recruit, impulsive, talented, and still learning the ropes. The missions grant him his status as a true OO agent. Kicking off with that Iceland mission, Bond encounters a shadowy organization stealing secret technology from a remote facility. The place goes up in flames, and Bond narrowly escapes, setting off a global chase. After being recruited into MI6, he partners with reimagined versions of Q, Moneypenny, and other original characters who guide him and help him earn his place. It's a classic underdog becomes hero setup, but told with IO's signature character first flair. Bond films have ranged from gritty spy thrillers to over-the-top comedic spectacles. First Light lands somewhere in the middle, a slick, punchy style reminiscent of both the Pierce Brosnan and Daniel Craig eras. There's wit, there's danger, and there's a surprising amount of heart. As a game, it balances the choice and consequence gameplay of Hitman with the structured, spectacle-driven narrative of Naughty Dog's Uncharted series. The training stage in Malta serves as a perfect primer. I played it twice to see how my choices change things. Generally, the goal is to avoid suspicion. If you fail, you need to contain the situation, and quickly, guards may become hostile and call reinforcements. But each scuffle is an isolated encounter that keeps a single mistake from spiraling into mission failure. Firearms are a last resort. Melee is the preferred choice, and it showcases how brutal and efficient Bond can be. That said, I found the fistfights a bit cumbersome, especially against multiple opponents. The flow isn't always intuitive, but when it works, it feels raw and powerful, exactly like a young Bond who hasn't yet perfected his craft. You're not just punching your way through, though. Bond comes equipped with a Q Watch and Q Vision, gadgets that let you perform quick hacks on environmental objects, break a fax machine or radio to create a distraction, lure a guard, then knock them out or lock them away. It's not as deep as Hitman's Rube Goldberg setups, but it's fast, satisfying, and very Bond. There are some surprising omissions. You can't pick up bodies or hide them, which feels like a step backward if you're used to Hitman. But the more I played, the more I understood IO's direction. First Light isn't about meticulously cleaning up after yourself. It's about making a beeline for your target and getting out as quickly as possible. The stealth is punchy, momentum-driven, and chaotic. Much like a Bond film, the gala mission was the real highlight. It's where the Hitman influence shines through. Your goal: infiltrate the upper floors to secure intel. You're given multiple approaches: social engineering, brute force, sneaking through vents. I overheard a phone call about a missing journalist. Assuming her identity, I tucked my way into a meeting, but first I had to find a press pass and a camera. Things went sideways when the real journalist showed up. I had to improvise. That's where the bluff skill comes in. It turns Bond's famous one-liners and quick wit into a gameplay mechanic. You spend action points to trick enemies. The more intel you've gathered, overheard conversations, read documents, the more effective your bluffs become. In one memorable moment, I knocked out a guard, got spotted by his partner, and bluffed that the unconscious man had suffered a medical emergency. The deception worked. Eventually, I reached a boss fight against one of First Light's recurring henchmen. No firearm, just stealth attacks and gadgets. The boss learns from your tactics. Use a tripwire trap in one room, and he'll avoid it in the next. Set off an explosion, and he'll become more cautious. It's a small but brilliant touch that forces you to adapt. I had to think on my feet, using the environment and my remaining gadgets to whittle him down. After that, the mission escalated into a full-on combat phase called License to Kill. When stealth fails, or the story demands it, Bond grabs whatever is available. The shooting feels fantastic, weighty, responsive, and cinematic. I had a moment where I tossed an empty submachine gun at an enemy's head, then shot a pistol out of another's hand and caught it midair. It's the kind of over-the-top action that makes you feel like a superstar spy. The mission closed with a chase through the streets of London. I boarded a garbage truck, yes, a garbage truck, and barreled through the city, smashing through barriers, dodging oncoming traffic, and generally causing mayhem. It gave me serious GoldenEye tank chase vibes. That mix of grounded, stealth, and absurd, high-octane action is exactly what I want from a Bond game. Between missions, you return to MI6. There's a hub area where you can talk to Q, Moneypenny, and others. You can upgrade your gadgets, read intel, and get briefings for upcoming assignments. It's not a huge open world, but it adds texture to the narrative. You feel like part of an organization, not just a lone wolf. Beyond the main campaign, First Light includes a taxum mode, stand-alone missions, and scenarios based on full campaign levels, but with added twists and open-ended objectives. I wasn't able to play it during the preview, but the description sounds very Hitman. You can use any method, any outfit, any approach to accomplish your goals. It's designed for replayability and experimentation. If it delivers, it could be where the game really shines. It's worth comparing First Light directly to Hitman. IO's previous games are slow, methodical, and clockwork precise. You spend minutes observing guard patterns, orchestrating elaborate domino effects. First Light is not that. It's faster, looser, and more forgiving. You're not punished for making a mess, you're rewarded for recovering with style. This isn't a criticism, it's a deliberate design choice. Bond isn't a ghost. He's a blunt instrument with a license to kill and a perfect suit. The writing also plays a big role. First Light is very character-focused. You see Bond's cockiness, his flashes of vulnerability, his genuine respect for his colleagues. The interactions with Q and Moneypenny feel real. There's history there, even in an origin story. The villains are appropriately nasty, and the supporting cast isn't just cardboard cutouts. I found myself caring about what happened to them, which is rare in a prequel. That said, there are rough edges. The melee combat against multiple opponents can feel clunky. The inability to hide bodies forces you to either move fast or accept the chaos. And occasionally, the AI does something dumb, like staring at a wall while you unlock a door behind them. These are things that could be polished before release, and I hope IO is listening. It's been years since the last proper 007 game. The larger Bond franchise has been in a state of reassessment. Who will play him next? Where will the films go? That uncertainty puts IO Interactive in a great position. 7 First Light is charm, wit, raw energy, and a real understanding of what makes Bond tick. It's not trying to be Hitman with a tuxedo. It's trying to be a Bond game that finally embraces the spy fantasy in all its forms. The game is set for release this May. Based on my time with 3 missions, I'm cautiously optimistic. The stealth is fast and fun, the bluff mechanic is a standout, the action scenes are thrilling, and the story has real heart. There are wrinkles to iron out, but the foundation is solid. If IO can deliver on the open-ended promise of taxum mode and polish the combat, 007 First Light could be the Bond game fans have been waiting for since 1997. For more on the latest upcoming games, check out our review of Invincible vs. And for everything else in the world of video games, stick with Visgams.